Hey everyone, it's Pat from Seattle Coffee Gear, and we're here today to take a look at our 2020 Holiday Video Hosts favorites. So you may have seen our best of lists for 2020. Those are lists that we come together as a content team to try to come up with the best that we can as a group. We put our heads together for those. You may have seen some of our shopping guides, which is where we kind of talk about some great entry-level options for people who are looking for gifting advice or trying to take advantage of some sales themselves. So today we're taking a look at the machines that our holiday video hosts would love to bring home for themselves this holiday season. So let's get started.
Hey folks, this is Jake, and these are my 3 favorite machines of 2020. And I really came about this by thinking about things not in terms of what I like, but really machines that it's more like what's not to like. And let's start with the Note here. So my favorite grinder this year is going to definitely be the Eureka Note. A few reasons why I like it. 50mm flat burr set gives you really consistent and pretty quick grinding for what it is. It's a great value at the price point that it is compared to other home espresso grinders. And you get most, if not all, of the features that you get on some more expensive grinders while still maintaining great grind consistency and still having stepless adjustment, a shut-off hopper, those quality of life things that really help make your daily shot a little bit better. So you do get quite a large bean hopper up top, right around 10 to 11 ounces of beans. Sometimes you can fit in just about 12 ounces depending on the beans. You get the portafilter fork up here. I have noticed that on some of the smaller Breville portafilters, it's a little bit tight, but it does work at the end of the day. And you have the manual push button. So there's no timers to fuss with. There's nothing like that. There's an on-off switch. There's a grind switch. And what's not to love with that? Because at the end of the day, you're getting nice, fluffy, consistent grinds, pretty low retention, and overall, a really solidly built, well-built machine. Now, my second favorite machine is going to be the Philips Carina. And the Carina, why I like it, is similar to the lines of the Eureka. It's simple. There's not too much to it for a super automatic. You know, a lot of super automatics have carafes or other types of things that do make them stand out just a little bit more. But really the Carina was all about making a super automatic as simple as it could be while still giving you great, consistent, quality drinks every single time. You get 12 grind settings on this. You know, you get all of the adjustability that you would on some of the larger format machines, like you can do the amount of coffee grounds, the amount of water, and you can also adjust the temperature from within the settings when the machine is off. You get the same easy to clean brew unit that Philips and Seiko are well known for over the years. You get the AquaClean compatibility, and you also get the easy to use intuitive screen. That means that you really can't mess up the drink with this. You have the Panarello, super easy steaming, and overall the machine is just a pleasure to use in the mornings when all you really want to do is push a button and have coffee come out. I think that the Carina really does a fantastic job of exactly that. And then last but not least is going to be a machine that I really, really love, and it is the Ratio 6 Drip Brewer coffee machine. Now the Ratio 6 is Ratio's smaller brother to its Ratio 8 at a substantially lower price point. And really, truly, it delivers some of the greatest coffee that you could ever have with just one button up front. It goes through the blooming phase and it goes through the brewing phase in just under 6 to 7 minutes, depending on how large your batch is. And it does that super, super well. And this thing is really built on thermal stability, making sure that your coffee is always brewing at the SCA 195 to 205 recommended temperatures, as well as getting the bloom and that brew time within the parameters to make the absolute best cup of coffee that you could. You know, you get the thermal collar here to keep all that heat in. You get a really nice and even shower screen with it. On the underside here, you get about 10 to 12 holes, and it's just super even for super great extraction. Nice large thermal carafe, does a great job. A little bit awkward to pour some mornings, but really with the stability and the pot of coffee, you're not really going to care. And overall, the Ratio just feels really super well built, even up to the aluminum or stainless water tank lid, which is really well built and fits in nicely in the housing. I mean, this is a solid chunk of machine, and it brews coffee right, and it brews coffee at the right temperature every single time. It does use a flat bottom filter, but you can use a cone filter. Ratio actually has a glass or a thermal cone. You may also be able to use a Chemex on this, but I would suggest Ratio's specific 8-cup cone, pour over cone for this, just because it does fit so perfectly. And you can use Chemex filters with those in case you did want something in the smaller, batch size that a cone brewer would allow you to do. So ultimately, why I really chose all these machines is just because at the beginning of your morning or at the beginning of the day, or even at the end of a long day, what you really need is something simple, something where you can just push a single button or just a few buttons like on the Carina here and get a nice, delicious cup of coffee or a cup of espresso quickly, easily, and without a lot of fuss. And I want to thank you so much, and on to Pat for his top 3 choices.
Hey, it's Pat again. I'm here to talk about my picks for our host hot list today. So I've got a couple of machines here and a kettle, and we're going to run through why these are some of my favorites and the machines that I would love to bring home for myself this holiday. For starters, we've got the Solus Perfetta here. So the Solus Perfetta is one of the newest exclusives that we've brought in, and it's a really good example of the reason we brought it on is because of what a great value it is and what a cool machine it is and how much stuff it can do. So one of the things that is true for a lot of semi-automatic espresso machines under $1,000 is that it can be kind of hard to use both pressurized and non-pressurized portafilters in the machines. And if you're not familiar, that just means that you don't have the ability to switch to that unpressurized portafilter basket, which is a little closer to the cafe experience. It doesn't have any artificial pressure being generated by the basket itself. So you're getting more control and generally a higher quality espresso shot from it that's closer to what you would get in your favorite cafe. So this machine can use both pressurized and unpressurized baskets. It's also ESE pod compatible. So there's a lot of different ways that you can brew your espresso in it. It has a solenoid valve, which is not something that we commonly see in machines in this price range. That helps to regulate the pressure and helps with things like backflushing and cleaning, and is also part of why using that unpressurized basket is a really good experience on this machine. Otherwise, it's got the kind of cafe style steam wand and generally pretty good ergonomics, and all around just a really fantastic value for the kind of quality shot that you're going to be able to pull out of it. I would normally expect to pay hundreds of dollars more than what this machine is to get the kind of quality espresso you can get on it. So that's why this is kind of my pick for the machine that I would take home in the semi-auto category, between value and quality that you get out of it. Next up, we have the Seiko Excelsis Super Automatic Espresso Machine. So this is, in the Super Auto category, this is probably my favorite machine overall. That's, if you take price out of the equation, this is obviously on the higher end of the Super Auto spectrum price-wise. But what you get for that pricing is this really, really good-looking, sleek case design. You're getting ergonomic features like front-loading water, and that stuff that's really improves the day-to-day use of the machine. But the two things that really are why I love it so much are the touchscreen interface that you use to brew drinks with the machine, and then the milk system. So the reason I love the interface so much is not just the way that it looks, although it is very like smartphone-y. It has like that really, really nice kind of look to it, but you get control over a lot of different aspects of drink creation that you usually don't get in Super Auto machines. So you're going to get things, be able to control things like dose and temperature, milk texture and volume, and stuff that you get much finer, more granular control over with this machine than what you would get out of even similarly priced machines that are also in this category. So I like that a lot. You can save those things to presets so that when you get your favorite latte or cappuccino, you can just recall that using the interface. But then the other thing that I love about this machine is the quality of its milk steaming. So whether you use the carafe or whether you steam, use the siphon to steam, however you use it, you can get actually like almost cafe quality milk out of this machine. So milk steaming is one of the hardest things to reproduce with an automatic process. There's a lot of finesse and technique that goes into how a barista steams milk. it's basically impossible to reproduce with an automatic machine. However, the Excelsis gets about as close as we've seen to that kind of milk quality. So we've actually had luck pouring latte art with milk off of this machine, and because you can control the texture with the touch screen, you can really dial in the milk to be to your liking. So that's the Seiko Excelsis, really great super auto machine, definitely a little higher end in the price department. And then lastly, I want to talk about the Bonavita Interurban here. So kettle choice is important, but what you're really looking for in a kettle is the ability to control the temperature and a gooseneck spout to be able to control the flow well when you're brewing pour over. So I like the Bonavita Interurban because it has both of those things really well dialed in. It has really nice buttons that and a really nice little interface down there. And then it also has temperature presets that are pre-programmed between different popular temperatures for different applications. So it's a really good multi-use kettle. And this holiday, one of the coolest things about it is that you can get this dripper and carafe with it in a sort of pour over bundle kit. So basically all you need to add at that point is your coffee and your filters and a scale to kind of weigh as you pour. But it's a really good way to get a nice package, and this is a really well-priced kettle for the amount of features that it has. So that's why I like this one, especially added bonus that it has that extra bundle kit with it for this 2020 holiday season. So those are my favorites. Hope you've enjoyed, and take it away.
Hey everybody, it's John from Seattle Coffee Gear. I'm here today talking about my top 3 picks for the end of the year and the holidays here. So why don't we just jump right in and start with the Virtuoso grinder from Baratza. It's actually the Virtuoso Plus grinder, so forgive me there. But I use this grinder at home for my brew grinder, and I just really like it. The grind consistency is super solid. You do have a timer on the face of it here. It goes from 1 second to 40 seconds, which for some folks may not be enough time if you're using darker roasted coffees. I usually do like a medium or light roast coffee for drip. And most of the time that's plenty enough time for 60 to 80 grams of coffee on like a Bonavita or something. So I don't have any issues with the timer. Super easy to set. I use it with a Chemex, any of my pour over stuff, but mainly just for drip in the morning. I'll weigh out coffee, toss it in the hopper, just press the start button and walk away, fill up my water for the coffee pot. So I really like this grinder. It has the metal case, so it's actually pretty sturdy for a brew grinder at this price point. And Baratza's been making grinders for a long time, so the sport's great, grind quality is great for the price point, and it even has a little timer on it too. So I'm really happy with that. Let's move on to my next pick, which is the Akaya Pearl scale. I also have one of these at home, and it's one of my favorite tools in my kitchen, not just for coffee. I use it for brewing coffee, of course, weighing beans for espresso. I also use it for some baking. I use it for cocktails, for measuring out ingredients. If I'm making burgers and I want to make them all the same size, just put a bowl on there and use it to weigh out my patties or whatever you want to do with it. It's just a super versatile scale. I've had mine for a few years now. It's still going super strong, cleans off really easy, and the battery stays charged for a long time. So this is my pick. I definitely think it's worth the price when you're looking for a scale. It also works with the app, and that connects to the scale via Bluetooth, and I can show you that here. All right, so I have the app pulled up here, and it's pretty handy. I don't use it a ton, but you can go through and you can change the settings of the scale. You can control the scale remotely, which not the most helpful unless you're just really into doing that sort of stuff. But what I find it most helpful for is being able to change the settings super easily. So you can turn your scale sound settings on or off. You can turn auto connect on or off. You can change the max weight. You can do quite a bit. You can see your battery level, your timer settings. It's really pretty handy to be able to control the scale a little bit. And the display on these, this is not the S model, so the display is a little bit different. I don't have any issues with it. If you're using it outside, maybe it would be a little bit hard to see, but I don't really have any issues with it. So that's one of my staff picks there for a scale. Last but not least, for my third pick here, it's the R58 Cinquantotto from Rocket Espresso. This is the update of the R58, so it's like the third iteration of the R58. It's their dual boiler machine, and it also adds in some extra controls with this side module here. I know some people have said in the videos, oh, why would you have a plastic module on the side? It's gonna get broken and all that stuff. But 99% of the people that have this machine or the previous R58, they just take this off and unplug it. You could even unscrew that and take that off as well and just store it in the cupboard until you want to make a change. But this part here acts as your controller for your temperatures, your auto on and auto off schedule, a lot of that sort of stuff. This machine can be plumbed in, and then it has the classic E61 group, so you can do a bit of pre-infusion, hot water, steam, all the goodies. We have a bunch of reviews on all of these products, so if you want to see more info, make sure to check that out. Again, we have the Virtuoso Plus, then we have the Akaya Pearl in white, and the R58 Cinquantotto from Rocket Espresso. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you learned a little bit more about why I like these products. Make sure to check them out on our website and our videos on them, and then subscribe to our channel as well. Thanks so much for watching.